The Doctor Audio Adventures.
The Doctor, Citizen of Gallifrey, Episode 4, written by Adam Brooks. Suddenly, from beneath the mud, there appeared a huge 10-foot-tall, brown-skinned, worm-like creature with dozens of rows of massive, sharp-pointed teeth. I knew it was too peaceful. The worm raised its tail and swiped it down at her. She quickly dived and rolled out of the way, avoiding it narrowly. Better run, I think. The worm raised its tail up again. Yep, run is good. She ran back towards the forest as the worm swung its tail at her again. The tail crashed down, narrowly missing the Doctor as she made it into the safety of the trees. Meanwhile, in the Matrix computer room, the teacher was watching the events on the monitor.
That worm, is it the manifestation of the virus?
Suddenly the door slid open, and the Time Lord, known as Mastermind, came in.
All right, what's going on? I want an immediate report.
He stared blankly for a moment, finally noticing the Doctor lying hooked into the Matrix.
Well, are you going to tell me the situation or not?
The Doctor has gone into the Matrix to destroy a virus that was transmitted from her last report chip.
So, calling yourself Doctor now, are you, my old friend?
Meanwhile, back in the Matrix, the Doctor continued to run through the muddy forest. Soon the terrain began to change and became less muddy. By this time she had begun to tire and was just walking. She looked around and saw some stones ahead. She went and sat down, trying to catch her breath. She turned to look around and saw that the stones were part of a collapsed building within a large ancient city that had plants and trees overgrowing everything and had probably been abandoned for a long time.
Wow, looks like an amazing city. Also looks like I have some exploring ahead of me.
Later in the ruined streets of the city, she came across several large piles of a white sand-like material.
Seems like this city was home for a local mining operation. I wonder what they were mining. Could this be salt? Well, better check it out.
She pulled a small silver device out of her pocket. She opened it and scooped some of the grains into it. The device lit up with several lights, and each light came on and off, then off in an odd sequence.
But what type? Please be green. Come on.
Eventually, the sequence of lights stopped on green.
Yes, sodium chloride.
Meanwhile, back in the Matrix computer room...
Common table salt. What's she going to do with that?
Perhaps, if we watch, we will see.
Back in the Matrix, the Doctor found a lot of 8-kilogram Hessian bags, which she began filling one by one.
Well, looks like I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Eventually, she filled 60 bags.
How can I move this ton?
Looking around, finally she came across a rusty old flatbed truck with several things on the back, including a metal box labelled tools, some metal piping, and a wooden box labelled dynamite, handle with care. The key was still in the ignition. She turned it on, but nothing happened. She hit the dash in frustration.
Damn, it was all going too well, obviously.
She went around to the bonnet, popping it open, revealing the old carbureted engine and corroded battery, thick dirt covering everything.
A horde of suspects, but who's the culprit?
She got some tools from the metal box and began to tinker with the engine.
Right, try this again.
She leaned in through the door and turned the key. She hit the accelerator.
Yes!
She went and closed the bonnet and drove the truck around the mine to the salt she'd collected. 2 hours later, in between the trees, near the edge of the forest where she had seen the worm, the Doctor was squatting on one knee, taking a piece of pipe, some salt, and some dynamite.
Phew, I think that's the last one. Right, time to put theory into practice.
She placed it down and got her hand inside the pipe and pushed out a small set of wires that she tied to another set of wires that she'd been holding under her knee. She walked back around the perimeter of the clearing to the truck. She grabbed a small box-sized device from the dashboard and walked towards the clearing. On the way, she picked up lots of wires on the ground and hooked them into the device. She walked into the clearing and stood for a moment, waiting.
Come on now, wormy.
Suddenly, the huge worm came out from beneath the mud. The Doctor stood firm and hit the button onto the device she held in her hand. And several explosions went off around the perimeter of the clearing, firing salt into the air. The salt flew all over the worm's skin. The worm writhed as its skin was sizzling, producing steam, and began to crack as it dried out. Suddenly, the worm fell to the ground. It began shriveling up, becoming smaller and continuing to dry out until it was just a husk. The skin became so dry and cracked, pieces fell off, revealing an ever-changing binary code.
Phew!
She awoke in the computer room.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
She suddenly noticed the Mastermind.
You defeated it in a very resourceful way.
Yeah, thanks. I never said how sorry I was to you.
I forgive you for now, but I do not forget. Nor do I trust you completely. But in my eyes, you're not the one who holds the biggest blame.
Well done. I'd say this deserves a celebration, but the President needs to see you urgently.
Thanks. I best go then. No rest for the wicked.
I think I better follow her.
The doctor came to a large door. Inside was an elegantly decorated room with a large chair behind a large desk. From in the back of the room came a very old-looking man, supporting himself on a long walking stick, which held the sceptre of Rassilon. He was wearing a bright red, full-body robe with a sash of Rassilon hanging from the gold-coloured shoulder pads, decorated with the Time Lord seal. He came and sat in the large chair.
Come here, granddaughter.
Yes, Grandad?
She approached him, kneeling by his side.
One way or another, I know I haven't got a lot of time left in my presidency. I don't trust this mastermind, and so you will have to take over in my place so that the mastermind doesn't become president.
The doctor was speechless for a moment. In an adjacent room, the mastermind was listening in on the conversation with a stethoscope-like device.
I knew something like this would happen. Well, nothing's going to stop me. I still have my trump card to play.
Meanwhile, the doctor stood up.
Grandad, I don't want to be the president, sitting here making boring decisions. I have itchy feet. I have to keep moving, exploring, adventuring. Surely you can find someone else.
I know it seems difficult, but I have faith in you, my child.
I know, I'm just saying I'm not the one for the role. No one will follow me or respect my decisions.
Please, respect my last request of you.
Sometime later, the doctor was walking along the hallways in a daze. In the distance, she saw 3 young male academy students. They were moving a large rectangular metal box that was roughly the same size and shape as a coffin into one of the side rooms along the hall. Eventually, she came to the door and was able to hear what was being said inside.
Come on, you idiots, be careful with that. It's the Hand of Omega, after all.
We obey, Lord Mastermind.
All right, here will do. Hurry up, don't try my patience.
Yes, we obey, Lord Mastermind.
It always pays to have a plan B. All right, leave me now.
Yes, we obey, Lord Mastermind.
The doctor watched as they walked off down the opposite side of the hallway. She peered into the room. Inside, the mastermind was trying to open the lid of the box.
Open, at last.
The doctor saw a brilliant light coming from deep in the fog within the box. It was moving almost as if it were alive.
I didn't want to have to resort to this, but it seems I don't have much choice.
Moving over to a bench-based console on the other side of the room, picking up a black hooded mask, he put it on and hit a button on the console.
Time Lords of Gallifrey, I have the Hand of Omega. If you don't want to be destroyed by your own stellar device, then you will depose your president and hand the title to me. Plan B Stage 1 complete. Soon I shall rule the Time Lords, and then I shall have the power to rule the universe.
The doctor quietly snuck off in the direction the students had gone. She saw the student Time Lords standing ahead. All of them seemed to be in a near catatonic state.
Geez, I know students these days are said to be brain dead, but this is ridiculous.
She snapped her fingers in their faces.
Hello? Anyone home?
We obey, Lord Mastermind.
Could this be hypnotism? Let's see.
She began to search through her coat pockets, pulling out some rubber bands, string, a ball of lint dust, and then a small white bag from which she pulled some lollies.
Jelly baby? No, I suppose not. Time for drastic measures.
She searched through her coat pockets again. She pulled out a silver medallion with a black spiral pattern on it. Light shone off it, which she flashed into each of the students' eyes.
What the...
Slowly, each returned to normal.
Where... Oh, so confusing.
It's all right, you have all been under hypnosis, put on you by the mastermind.
What were we doing?
I don't know all the details, but the mastermind had you deliver him the Hand of Omega, which he plans to threaten to use to depose the Time Lord President and become the President himself.
Oh no, what have we done? We're doomed.
No, it's not too late to fix things. Go find some help.
Okay, we'll find some help.
I better do my part.
She walked back along the hall she had come from. The 3 students came across the teacher.
Sir, can I help you boys?
It's awful.
This is very serious. I don't think we have a moment to spare. Come on, let's go.
Sir, excuse us, sir.
There you 3 are.
The teacher pulled out a small device with a red button.
Hey, why are you with them?
It's no use, Mastermind. They have told me everything. All I have to do is press this button and the Time Lord Guard will come and capture you.
Right, this looks like my chance.
Suddenly, the doctor ran into the room. Wait! She went over to the box containing the hand of Omega. The lid of the box opened up, and a brilliant light shone from within, and a smoky cloud seeped out. She turned.
I have the hand of Omega. I'm stealing it.
What? Why?
Doctor, this is foolish of you. Are you trying to save me?
I have my reasons. Sorry, Grandad, I've got to keep moving.
She ran back, followed by the hand of Omega. The teacher hit the button on the small device.
You must have a plan, Doctor. Let's see what it is.
The Mastermind took off down the hall. Ahead was the doctor.
You'd better run, Doctor, lest I catch you.
Suddenly, the hall bent around a corner.
Damn. I think I lost her.
2 Time Lord guards wearing armor suits, the shoulders decorated with a Time Lord seal, came into the inside hall.
Stop right there.
Now you will listen to me. I am the Mastermind and you will obey me. Not enough time.
With this, he ran off, chased by the guards. Meanwhile, the technician was walking out of the doctor's time machine. In the room was another time machine. She went over to a table with a bunch of tools on it.
My work is never done. Now I have to dismantle this Type 40 time machine. Might as well use it for the parts I still need.
Suddenly, the doctor ran into the room, passing by the technician, the hand of Omega floating behind her. She ran into her time machine.
No, wait! I haven't finished!
Inside, the doctor got to the console. IS-Bot came up to the hand of Omega.
What is this, mistress?
Just some extra luggage, Izzy. With a tear in her eye, she hit several switches in the panel. The Mastermind ran into the room as the time machine dematerialized.
Ugh! I can't believe this.
He ran into the other time machine.
Someday we'll meet again, Doctor.
The guard Time Lords ran into the room.
Sir, they have both escaped with Type 40 time machines.
Can we track them?
No, sir. We have lost both of them. What do we do now?
We'll have to class them both as renegade Time Lords.
Sometime later, in a large multi-mall in Sydney, New Year's Eve 2016, a young man in his late teens known as Terry Fowler, wearing thongs, burgundy shorts, a white singlet with a pair of fluoro green sunglasses hanging from it, was walking by the stores talking on his cell phone and carrying a can of energy drink.
Yeah, sounds awesome, mate. I'll see you at Rowena's. Actually, make that 15. I want to check out this photo booth. Maybe take a few snaps. Yeah, catcha.
The young man put his phone in his pocket and approached the 1950s photo booth, stepping on an out-of-order sign as he pushed open the cabinet-like door. Inside was a huge half-dome-shaped room that had a white base and a brightly lit creamy cross and diamond pattern on its walls. In the middle of the room was a hexagonal-based control console. In its centre was a cylindrical glass tube that rose up into the ceiling. This housed more than a dozen rotor couplings, which were holding long cylindrical lights.
Oh, what the flip?
There was a chair with grey cushions, wooden table to its side, and several loosely filled bookshelves behind. To the far side was an old 1920s-style elevator with a criss-crossed metal door.
It's flipping huge on the inside.
He walked further into the room, suddenly seeing a dried, red, blood-like substance and a pair of legs coming out from underneath.
Oh my god, what the flip?
Fear set into the young man upon seeing the body, seemingly crushed under the elevator. We continued in the next story, The Doctor and the Planet of Origin.
Performed by an all-volunteer cast featuring Rowena Dinsmore, Brooke Maloney, Michael Rutter, Roy Scale, Bill Carney, Adam Brooks, John Brooks. Edited by Adam Brooks, Carolyn Rutter, and Trevor Sneed. Visit thedoctoraudioadventures.wordpress.com for full sound effects, credits, artwork and more. City Park Radio, The Doctor Audio Adventures, 2016.